You made it. You're here. I know you. You know me. My name is Jared Fuller, also known as Jared Bear. This is the Sunday video update for Sunday, September 27th, 2020. That was my phone. You might have heard in the background. I receive text messages daily. Dad and Amy are still gone. This is week number 2. They are absent from another Sunday video. They are still in Owasso at Amy's adopted parents. They are helping to keep things in order up there. They've been, mowing the lawn and taking care of things, cleaning the house and doing all that stuff. They've been gone for a week. So, and we're going on week number 2, by the way. I hope you had a wonderful week. My week was good. There were good parts and then there were not so good parts. But today I feel great. I was really stressing last night. My anxiety was through the roof. But now, today is a new day. I'm drinking some coffee and I was getting some loving from my dog down here, Scruffy. He's lying down here on the floor next to the chair. But I'm going to get to all that information and I'm going to try to keep it as brief as possible so I'm not dragging on. But knowing me, I probably will drag on. So the week was good in terms of receiving text messages from friends and keeping in contact with so many of you. And for that, I love you and I appreciate you and I appreciate the emails and the text messages. So thank you. I am doing wonderful. I'm doing fantastic today. It was on Friday. I went to visit a 7-year-old leukemia survivor and his mom. And it was a nice visit. We talked we visited for probably, I'd say, hour and a half. And it was really nice. I enjoyed it very much. But, however, I ran into some issues on the way to the mom's house. The tire, the tread on my driver's side tire started to come off. And I was stranded on I-69 for 2 hours in 80-degree heat. I call my dad because Dad's in Owasso, and I call him up and I say, well, I kind of got a problem here. And he says, well, what's going on? I said, the tread or whatever is coming off my tire. I said, I can't drive it like this. I don't want to take a chance of wiping out. He says, okay, let me call the insurance company. So he called the insurance company, and the insurance company, they notified, or they had given me a number to call to verify that it was my cell phone number and to verify that it was me on the policy of the vehicle that I called on, which is my Mercury, by the way. And then they texted me a link, and I had to follow the link. I had to give them all my information, the policy number, my license plate, the make and model of my vehicle, the location where I was stranded, and it took 2 hours. It took 2 hours for someone to show up. And by the time someone showed up, it was just a white truck, and they had the jack and the 4-way. And I was really aggravated. By this time, I'm really super pissed because it's like, I waited out here for 2 hours. And I-69, if you're familiar with Interstate 69, it is known, it is notorious for semis. There's, semi after semi after semi because of the fact that I-69 connects all the cities together, like Lansing and Detroit, and it takes you down to like Marshall and Port Huron and down in those areas. But anyway, it took the guy 2 hours to find me. And like I said, at this time I'm already furious. I'm extremely pissed and aggravated because I'm sitting on the side of a busy freeway for 2 hours in 80-degree heat. Yeah, my windows were down. And I had my 4-ways on. And I told the guy when he was getting out, he got out of his truck, he had his jack and a 4-way. I said, I got to call my insurance guy because prior to him showing up, I had to call my insurance guy to let him know what was going on. And the guy with the 4-way says, well, that's not necessary. You're just wasting your breath. You don't need to call your insurance guy. I was instructed to. Before you even showed up, I had spoken to my insurance guy. So he may not have known, in his defense, he may not have known that I had spoken to my insurance guy, but I told him, I said, I got to call him. Well, you don't need to do that. Well, I did anyway. And after the guy with the four-way showed up, Dad had pulled up because I called him and I gave him my location. I was on Interstate 69 near the Nichols Road overpass. You could easily Google, on Google Maps, you could easily find that intersection. I was westbound. I was headed towards, actually I was planning on going through Lansing and, to get where I was going. And I did, all said and done. But I got to remember to call my insurance company tomorrow to let them know that the guy also had to give my van a jump because my four-ways were on and it drew all the juice out of the battery. So tomorrow I got to call State Farm and say, and let them know that he also gave my van a jump. But that was one of the interesting parts. And there was a little miscommunication with my brother. He kind of got upset with me because I told him that I had things to do, which he knew that, because he was here on Wednesday, and I told him I got things to do on Friday. I'm going to see a cancer warrior and his mom, so I'm not going to be home because the girls, his girlfriend's kids have been coming over here using the computer and, the internet, the Wi-Fi for the tablet so they can get their schoolwork done. And I precisely told him, I said, I'm going to be gone on Friday. Well, he showed up Friday morning and I was getting ready to jump in the tub and get ready to go. And he got mad because I said, I'm sorry. Today is not a good day. I got things to do. I told you that. And he slammed the door and it's like, just go away, leave me alone. But anyway, those were kind of the rough spots. And there was another rough spot. Shut up, cat! Sorry about that. There was another rough spot in the week. I received death threats in Messenger, being threatened to be pushed through a wood chipper. Now, I don't know what's going on precisely, other than I shared a page of a little girl who's fighting cancer. She's battling cancer. I think leukemia or something. It's cancer. And I had received a message from one of the family members asking to please not share her stuff when the stuff is public and it's open for anyone to share. So as far as I can tell, and this is not, people say to me, well, Jared, you never do anything wrong, you're a narcissist. No, what was so wrong about me sharing a page, a public page, something that was meant to be shared? There is no expectation of privacy in public. This is something that people don't understand. You don't put something out there and then complain when anyone shares something that you choose to share publicly. It's illogical. This cat's driving me crazy, so give me just a second now. You better get in here, because you're making me upset. It is breakfast time after all, but anyway, back to what I was saying. I shared a page, and somebody asked me to take the post down, and I said, well, where's the logic in that? Her mom posted something publicly, and because I shared it, suddenly there's an issue with that. And it was a civilized conversation. There was no fighting. There was no arguing. I was trying to rationalize with this person, and they weren't having it. And he accused me of making it worse than what it was, or making it more complicated than what it is. Well, there is no complication. I mean, if logic isn't your best friend, I guess it would be complicated for you to understand. And then I had a bunch of people follow me, and then finally the straw that broke the camel's back was I was receiving death threats. I was threatened to be pushed through a wood chipper. Like, wow, how creative is that? So I said, screw this, I'm done. Now, most people would easily say, well, you gave it up, you gave up Messenger or whatever because that's an admission of guilt. That's why you decided to take it out. No, it didn't even bother. I mean, it didn't even scare me that the guy said he wanted to, push me through a wood chipper. It's the fact that I'm sick of the bullshit. I'm sick of the drama. I'm sick of grown people acting immaturely. I'm sick of the hate. And social media fosters hate. Anybody who's on there knows this. If you're on there, you see this thing every day. I got fed up. It is a toxic environment. My anxiety had gone through the roof. As a result of that, I gave it up. My anxiety went down. And I mean, it really went down. And I feel better. I mean, today, so far, so good. I'm doing pretty good. But it's like, and then I found out, then I received some screenshots from my haters, CJ Colton and somebody, I don't know, a bunch of people, the names that I'm familiar with, saying, you got to watch Jared Fuller, he's a predator, and this, that, and the other. And I still have the screenshots, by the way, as evidence. So, I'm just... I never imagined, and yeah, I'm going to get into a little spiel about this. I never imagined, as someone who just survived cancer as a kid and I wanted to share my story with everybody, I never imagined I would have to go through so much fucking bullshit just because I shared my story with people. I never imagined I would have to go through all that. And it's ridiculous. Because I shared a page, so therefore I'm going to get death threats? Or because someone called me a predator? No, you got me mistaken for Milk Tyson. He's the predator. Have you not heard about him? Have you not heard about the kinds of shit that he's into? He's the predator, and I've exposed him here on my YouTube channel. If you even care to look, if you bother to look, you will know that I exposed him. Now, I know there's a lot of people who watch my channel. I get a lot of views on my videos. Most of you watch and subscribe because you know who I am. And you're really good friends or family of mine, and you love me, and I love you. And most of you are just people who are acting as surveillance, like an extra set of eyeballs. Well, we can use this in our secret little group on Facebook where we bash people who can't defend themselves. So, if this video is being shared in a secret private group or whatever nobody knows about, so for all of you watching this in the secret group on Facebook, hi, I'm Jared Fuller. I'm known as Jerry Bear. I'm the guy that all your little buddies and friends gossip about in this secret group like the cowards that they are. And I'm going to encourage you, if you're watching this, there's an email address in my About tab section on my YouTube channel here. I encourage you, anything that is being shared in this private group, I want you to email this information to me, evidence, so I can examine it. Now, if you're being held against your will and being threatened to be kicked out of the group and in fear of backlash, if you're being told that you cannot share anything outside of the group, why are you even in the group in the first place? What if someone was doing this to you? If someone was secretly talking shit about you, or throwing you under the bus, or running your name through the mud, wouldn't you want to know? And furthermore, if you do email me something from the secret group, I can assure you no one's ever going to know. So, do the right thing. Follow your conscience. Follow that voice in your head. Follow your heart. Do the right thing. If there is evidence of anything, and I don't care what it is, they could be talking shit about me. I don't care. Screenshot it and email it to me. My email address is in the About tab section of my YouTube channel. If you click on the video and watch, all you got to do is go to my channel, click on About, and then you'll find my email address. I want you to email me this information. I don't care if the admin told you nothing is to leave this group, because if so, you're out of the group or whatever. That's cowardly, and it's dirty. And, do the right thing. You have a chance to do the right thing. You can remain anonymous. You can show me anything and everything from the secret group on Facebook, bashing me or anybody else. They're going to have to defend themselves, because I can't speak for those other people being bashed. But for me, Jared Fuller, in this secret group on Facebook, I want you to email me. I want you to show me what's being said. I want you to show me what's going on behind the scenes. Or in this secret group, this cowardly group that you're a member of. You don't have to be afraid of backlash, because nobody's going to know. No one will ever know that you shared something with me in an email. You could sit here and say, well, I don't want that on my conscience, and then, the hunter will become the hunted. They're never going to know. They will never know. Email me. I don't have any ill will against you yet, and I'm remaining neutral to that until you give me a reason to not be nice, which usually seems to be the case, because I've been accused of stalking and harassment, and the thing is, what you or most people don't know is that I'm being stalked and harassed all the time by these people. Being called a predator? Wow. Is that the pot calling the kettle black or what? Because, perfect example, when I went to Louisiana last summer, talk about stalking. When I went to Louisiana last summer, it was the last day, or the day I was supposed to come back home to Michigan, and I was in the front seat, and my friend that I was staying with, she was driving the car, of course, and she received a message on her messenger about me, warning her about me. And no lie, we just looked at each other and we laughed our asses off, because she knew it was bullshit just as much as I did. And furthermore, gets even better than that. On the day that I was supposed to come back home, because I flew out of Detroit and I got a round-trip ticket from Detroit to Baton Rouge, the day I was supposed to come back home, severe weather had come through and it delayed my flight. They delayed my flight. So I spent another night with my friends. It did not deter them, because they know who I am. I was with them all weekend long. They trusted me around their daughters. They trusted me in their home. They trusted me because they are my friends and my family. I consider them my family. And they know that I would never do anything nefarious. The problem with people who are in the secret group on Facebook is that they think they have to remain obsequious. Big word, you should look it up. They have to be obsequious to the admins of this group because, well, this is the evidence that we found on Jared, and don't you dare leak this out to anybody, which is cowardly. And furthermore, should tell you that if they're not willing to share this publicly, then it must not be a big deal after all. And to which case you should probably email me anyway. Either way, email me some evidence. Email me some things from the secret group. You don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be afraid. They're never going to know it was you. They're never going to know it was you if you email me, because I don't talk to those people. Remember, I'm the enemy. So stalking and harassment. Well, let's see. This is what I love. Google. I love Google. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look up the definitions of the words stalk and harass. So let's see. Harass definition. Okay. Harass. Subject to aggressive pressure or intimidation. Okay. So if I email somebody, they consider that harassment. Well, according to this definition, it says subject to aggressive pressure. Aggressive pressure how? How am I being aggressive in the email? If I'm just inquiring, why are you treating me this way? What did I do? What was the reason you decided to cut ties with me? How is that being aggressive? I'm not intimidating you. I just want answers. That's it. That's all I want. It's just an answer why you would think this way. Okay? So we'll look up the word stalk. Stalk. Well, it's not the main stem of a herbaceous plant. That's not the definition. There's two usages of the word. Let's see. When hunting, an animal stalks its prey. It follows its quarry stealthily until it's time to pounce. Similarly, if a person stalks you, they follow you and watch you. Okay, so in that regard, I've also had people say to me, well, I don't know how you got my email address. Hey, genius, you put it on the fucking page. I wouldn't know how to get your email address unless you put it out there. So the definition of stalk is to watch and follow. No, I don't watch or follow anybody. I think it's the other way around. Remember, I just told you that I've had people watching and following me when I was in Louisiana last summer. Who's stalking who here? The very things that they're accusing me of doing is exactly what they're doing. You know, the people in this secret group that you're in, they're guilty of the very thing they're accusing me of doing. So, and they demonstrate this every single time they want to talk smack about somebody, because I know my videos are being shared in the secret group. Hi. So that's that, as far as that goes. I don't follow people. I don't watch people. But if there is an email address available, yeah, I would like to try to get to the bottom of what's going on. Because I don't believe everything I'm told. And Facebook is Grand Central Station for misinformation. And if you are someone who lives on social media, that's a problem. I'm glad I don't have social media anymore. I feel liberated. I feel relieved. I feel free. You know, I don't have that issue anymore. I don't inundate myself with garbage on social media, Facebook or whatever. And there's people who come to me and say, man, I wish I could get rid of my Facebook. I wish I could just get rid of it altogether. You can get rid of it. You can get rid of Facebook. Think of it this way. If you're not on Facebook anymore, you're not committing social suicide. Like, you're not missing out on anything. Instead, what's happening is that's going to force people to pick up a phone, to email you, to find out how you're doing, what's going on. Because on Facebook, it's just too convenient. Because of Facebook, nobody wants to go anywhere. Well, and yeah, part of it, well, actually, most of it has to do with the COVID. But even before COVID come along, Facebook has already been in existence for like the past 16 years. So Facebook, social media in general, but I'm going to focus on Facebook because that seems to be the central nervous system of this thought here. Facebook gives people reasons to not venture out, to actually see people physically. You know, it's been this way for the past 16 years. I think we've mastered the social distancing thing really, really well, thanks in part to social media, because you can just sit here at your computer like I am, or you can just sit with your cell phone and doing this shit all day long. You don't even have to leave home. You can just talk to people from a distance. It's a shame, especially if you have a genuine heart and you genuinely care about people. and your heart, you get attached to people. I talked to my mom on the phone yesterday for like 2 hours and 20 minutes or something like that. And I kind of blew off a lot of steam. I got into this rant, or I guess not a rant, maybe just a spiel, about people treating me the way they do. When we're at the end of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. It really wasn't much of an awareness month. I put my story out there because I wanted to show people that they are not alone, that they have someone out here who understands. The problem is that there are people who are dishonest. They are deceitful. They engage in sophistry and skullduggery, and I don't want anything to do with those people. I exposed 2 people, and I don't. You have to weed out the bad. That's how you improve. You got to take the problem people and you got to expose them and say, adios, amigos, you're gone, you're done. But they cling to childhood cancer, which is really weird. Like, I just, of all of the different causes out there, why childhood cancer specifically? And I'm not saying why us, leave us alone. We need the awareness. But there's a specific reason. Childhood cancer, it does get shoved to the back in terms of breast cancer awareness. There's merchandise for breast cancer awareness, and it's not to degrade my breast cancer sisters, but it does get a lot more attention and a lot more advertising and a lot more merchandise. It gets a lot more traction than childhood cancer, and that does bother me a lot, and it really does. Because childhood cancer is not rare, and it affects people just as much as breast cancer. It's real. It's an actual thing. My thing is that I wanted people to know that there is a survivor out here. And then all it takes is for one person to say, oh, well, Jared Fuller is this and Jared Fuller is that, and he said this and done that. And it's like, wow. And you're going to believe that. You're going to believe that, which is the issue. Especially in the absence of evidence. They believe things without any good reason at all. And my problem is that you don't come to me. You get one side of a story, and it's twisted, by the way, and it's inaccurate. You get that one side of a story. You don't hear my side of the story. You don't get my explanations for things. You never know why I react the way I do, other than, oh, Jared reacted negatively and he's a bad guy. There's a reason I reacted negatively. There's a reason I do the things I do. There's a reason for that. I am a good person. I've always been a good person. I've always been on your side. I've always been on your team. It's a cat. Stop! But what I'm saying is, as a member of being on your team, I have always respected you. I have always had an enormous amount of respect. Now I got all these people against me. I mean, why? I always come back to the why. Why are these people against me? Because I stuck up for myself when nobody else would? Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know the reason. I mean, I don't know. I guess, and with being away from social media, I guess I should just get used to the fact that I will be alone. Because people who I thought were my friends are just going to leave anyway. They're going to take something the wrong way, and they're going to question me, or they're going to take it, as me being a bad guy, and then they leave. Can people not think for themselves? Are you that close-minded? So I emailed somebody Big deal. Big deal. There's people who harass me in email all the time. But do I come on here and complain? Do I go on Facebook and complain? No. In fact, I have a little bit of fun with it. I always have fun with email when people are going to be obnoxious and stupid. I point it out. Now, if that is ever an issue to where, okay, well, Jared is just being mean. Yeah, somehow it always comes back where I'm the bad guy and I'm being so mean to everybody. Shut up! That's how it always turns out, right? It always comes back where I'm the bad guy and I'm just so awful. When in fact, what I'm doing is sticking up for myself and defending myself against stupidity. Someone's going to come up with a lie, I'm going to crush it with my bare fucking hands. And that's what upsets these people, because that takes away their fun. See? That takes away their joy of putting other people down. It takes it away. It removes it. Because when you apply logic to anything, it dissolves everything that they've ever said. You know, you can make a claim, but you have no proof to back up your claim. And I'm sticking with that. You know, I'm always going to stick with that. I know it's true, and the things that are being said about me aren't matching up. Because they have no evidence, and then they grasp at straws, and then they come up with shit to tear me down. Like C.J. Colton calling me a predator. I don't stalk or harass anybody, but I'm on to you, CJ. I know what you said. I got the screenshot of exactly what you said. And my cat wants out because it doesn't matter if I'm busy. Ow. Doesn't matter if I'm busy. Interrupt me in the middle of my video. But anyway, that was basically what I wanted to say. In fact, I did receive a text message from someone. Oh, no, I didn't. It was just the weather. And why does it say I'm in Corona? I'm not in Corona. What? I'll figure that out after I'm done. It says I'm in Corona. I'm not in Corona. But, I'm at a point now where I just don't care. You know, being home alone for this past week, it had shown me something. It had taught me that I can do just as well on my own. I would prefer to not be alone. I have lots of friends still. But being home alone with Dad and Amy being away, they've been on a while so for the past week, me being home alone by myself has taught me that I am perfectly capable of being by myself. I can take care of myself. I don't need, you know, I love my friends, but if it came down to it to where I had to live a life of solitude, then so be it. I've got my journal. I've got my poetry. I don't want to lose my friends because I truly love and care about people. And it always disheartens me when they question my actions about, well, you know, you can't email people. Yes, I fucking can email people. First of all. Second of all, you don't hear my side of the story. They never tell you. Okay, so if you're a member of the secret group on Facebook that's bashing me, what you're never going to know, and I'm going to tell you this, what you're never going to know is the fact that they engage in shit towards me too. They never tell you that. You're never going to know that, but I'm going to tell you. They're no different. They're no better if we're gonna go down that route. These people who are admins of secret Facebook groups too, there is no exposing people. It's trash talk and pejoratives. They're not exposing anybody. Because if you were really and truly exposing someone, like myself, which you have nothing on me, well, something would have happened by now. I mean, wouldn't you call the law? If I'm such a predator, wouldn't you call the law? See, because unlike Milk Tyson, if I actually do something, I'm not going to admit it and then, funny. I would be ashamed of myself if I did something that horrible as to sexually harass people. You know? And all I'm doing is asking questions like, why are you treating me this way? But I guess I'm not allowed to do that either. I'm supposed to just take it. Well, fuck that and fuck you if you think I have to sit and take it, because I'm not going to take it. But anywho, moving on, because I don't want to harp on this all throughout the video. My visit with my little buddy was really cool. I had a great time. We drank root beer, and we talked about a lot of different things because I haven't seen him in such a long time. And yes, I wore my mask. I wore a protective facial garment when I went to see him, and he's doing great. His hair grew back, and he was jumping up and down and singing, I'm a banana, I'm a banana. And he's 7 years old, by the way. And he was just being silly. And it was a wonderful time. I had a great time visiting with him and his mom and his older brother. And then I was there for about an hour and a half, and then, okay, I guess it's time to go. And it was a good day on Friday. It was an awesome day. Yes, last night my anxiety was a little through the roof because of, like I said, someone I had been friends with for a very long time started questioning me about the shit that's being said on Facebook about me, and it's like, what the fuck? Well, I hope it's not true. Well, what the fuck? What are you talking about? You hope it's not true. It's either true or it's not true. That's it. And I'm hoping that this person will actually call me and want to have a voice-to-voice conversation, because the text messaging, you can't, I mean, you have to interpret text. And I don't know when a person's being serious. I don't know when they're joking. It's kind of, I mean, I can kind of differentiate. I mean, if they use the emojis like the laughing faces or whatever. But I would assume just have a voice-to-voice conversation and say, this is what's going on. And I will tell them what's going on. But the death threats came about being threatened to be pushed to a wood chipper. Whatever. Jackass. That came about because all it had taken, and this is proven, all it had taken was for someone to say, oh, Jared is a predator. That's all it takes. And, but of course I'm not. But, that apparently that's what it takes to set people off. It's just to say that you're a predator, or for someone else to say that you're a predator. Well, if that's what you think, I know I'm not, but if that's what you think, that's your fucking problem. And, you want to send me through a wood chipper? Well, if you email me, I'll give you my address. And then you can haul your wood chipper up here. But I guarantee when you get here, it may not be very pretty for you. Just saying. But anyway, I'm not gonna, like I said, I don't want to entertain that problem too much because it's irrelevant now. It's done and over with. But I am doing okay out here for those of you who give a damn and want to know how I'm doing. I'm doing fantastic. Today was a great day. I woke up in a great mood. My anxiety went down from last night. I had to breathe. I even got on YouTube and watched some funny videos and listened to some people speak. And it kind of helped put some things into perspective. I listened to some George Carlin. That guy was funny as hell. I love George Carlin. I listened to Bill Maher. I listened to Howard Stern. I listened to all these people who are just outspoken and just don't give a fuck, which is a very useful tool to have, not giving a fuck. But it was awesome. Just listening to all these people on YouTube and getting some different insight, and it helped to ease my anxiety. And I was talking to another friend of mine who is a cancer warrior right now. She lives in the state of Michigan, and she's doing great. As far as, well, actually, I can't say she's doing great. She got sick last night. She was coughing so hard that she got sick, but she was well enough to text, and she felt okay enough to have a conversation. And so I don't want to say that she's doing great. She's actually not doing great. She got sick last night, and I was texting her, and I said, "Are you okay?" And I guess an ex-boyfriend was texting her and saying that he wanted her back. He still loved her, and he wants her back, but she's moved on. That kind of like One Life to Live, daytime Emmy kind of stuff going on. I'm single, so I don't have that problem. But I don't mind having those discussions. I'm no master at relationships or loving someone, because I've been single for a very long time, and but you kind of get used to some things after a while. Like I know there's people out there who they can't live without a partner. Okay, and I was talking to my mom about this yesterday. So it's just really weird to me that, I understand you don't want to die alone. Nobody wants to die alone. But at the same time, how are you ever going to learn how to live on your own? Like, how are you ever going to appreciate peace and quiet in your own company? You have no one to consult with. If you want to get up and do something, you can just do it. You have no one to consult with. You don't have a partner. You don't have anyone to hold. You don't have anyone to do things with. But at the same time, it's not so bad. It's like, okay, whatever. It is what it is, as they say. Although I don't like that term. It is what it is. I don't like that catchphrase, because everybody's hooked on this stupid phrase, like it's become some kind of a verbal tick. Like, oh, it is what it is. No, it's not. It is not what it is. But being alone, I don't mind it. It's actually nice. It's not bad. I have all my free time to decide what I want to do with all my free time. I can write. I can go for a drive somewhere. I can I do whatever I want. I can go anywhere I want and have all the fun I want and hang out with people, see friends, and just do whatever. I can go out to Billy's. I can go to the Lake Michigan. I can go anywhere I want. There's people out there who still love me and want me around, despite the fact that, there's shit being said, and I enjoy the alone time. I enjoy the peace and quiet because I can hear myself think. And it's really not so bad. It's really not so bad. But yeah, I like it. I don't mind, living with Dad and Amy. I don't mind that, because when I do the Sunday videos, sometimes it gives me someone to talk to, and if I get stuck on a subject, or if I can't seem to, if I drag on and I don't realize it, I've got Dad and Amy usually here to help me and say, okay, let's move on to the next subject. Let's talk about something else. Or if I get really super frustrated, I'll just say, fuck that. I want to finish my point, and I want for people out there to know what's going on. But usually we're pretty good. We're, the three of us, we do a good job with the Sunday videos. I just wish things could have been different for me. I'm just a guy who survived cancer when I was a kid, and I just wanted for people to know that they're not alone, and I wanted to reach out. I have no ill will. I would never hurt anybody. That's not who I am. And instead of actually coming to me and saying, Jared, what's going on? Or, can we have a talk? Absolutely, let's talk. Instead, they just go and believe it right off the rip. And it's like, wow, all this time, I thought we were friends. I thought we were going to get along. I thought you were cool. And then one day you just up and thought that I was a piece of shit. I'm not a piece of shit for defending myself. And like I said, you're not going to hear the kinds of shit that they've done to me. They're never going to say that. So here I sit. And I thought someone was texting me, but wasn't the case. But anyway, I know a lot of you are watching directly from YouTube. A lot of you are watching probably from Facebook if my videos are being shared, which is fine if you can handle the F-bombs every so often. And if you can't handle the F-bombs, then my channel is not for you. Go somewhere else. But this is me. This is Jared Bear. This is Jared Fuller. I'm not, I'm not running. I'm not hiding. Here I am. So that's that. And I've been here now for over 45 minutes. I suppose I can make this Sunday video brief. But again, and although I said I didn't really want to drag this on and talk about, but I always come back to that because it's never going to stop until they stop. So again, if you are a member of this private secret group on Facebook, and I have no doubt in my mind that these videos get shared on Facebook. I have no doubt in my mind that these get shared. You can email me. There's a reason I put my email address in my About tab section of my YouTube channel. Do not be afraid to reach out to me. Show me what's being said. Show me what's being shared. Because, and I say this because for the past 4 years, I have been asking for evidence. Give me something to examine. Any real liar would deny being a scumbag. For me to ask you to show me something should only demonstrate to you that I am clueless about anything that they're accusing me of saying or doing, and I'm asking you to show me what it is that they're blaming me for. I'm going to know immediately. I'm going to know right. I'm going to recognize it because I have a very good memory. I know what I say. I know exactly what I say and how I phrase things. So if you're a member of this secret group, this coward group, because if you don't leave, then you're just as much a coward as they are, and I hate to put it that way, but that is the truth. Show me this information that they're saying. Email me. Take a screenshot of what's being said. Email it to me. I promise you're going to remain anonymous. I'm not even going to mention your name on my video. In fact, you would be a real hero if you showed me what's being said. I want you to take screenshots. I want you to, because I'm not on Facebook, so I can't see, if you send me a link to the secret group, it's not going to do me any good because I'm not on Facebook. But I want you to take a screenshot and I want you to email it to me, to the email address in my About tab section of my channel, please. And I know you're probably sworn to secrecy, that if you let any of this information leak, you are out of this group. And you jump on a bandwagon because you are in fear of backlash, that the hunter will become the hunted. Deep down, you know that I'm not a bad person. If we have ever had interactions, you would know that I've always been nice, I've always been kind, I've always been generous, I've always been giving, I've always been understanding and loving and caring. You know that. So if they're saying any of this stuff about me, I promise you, you will remain anonymous. Email me. I don't care what it is. Screenshot of anything. Don't scratch out any names. Don't do any of that stuff. Show me exactly what's being said and who's saying it. I'm telling you, your name will never be mentioned. Your email address will never be shown. But I will thank you because you'll know who you are, and I will come on here and I will thank you publicly for helping me. Or, in fact, I might not even say anything at all. Did I get the information? Did I get the screenshots, or didn't I? The coward who made the invisible group, or the secret group, will never know. Will I announce that I got some information, or won't I? That is the question. So, now is your chance to do the right thing. Email me. Take screenshots. Let me know what's going on. Let me know what's being said. Is it going to hurt me? Probably, most likely, because that's just the kind of guy I am. But I can assure you, you're doing the right thing. Nobody's going to know that it was you. I can't emphasize that enough. No one will ever know that it was you. I'm not going to give a name. I'm not going to give an email address. No one will know that it's you. Okay, that's all I'm saying. I just want this to go away. I want for people to grow up, and I want for people to leave me the fuck alone. That's all I want. Let me live my life. They accuse me of being the stalker and the harasser. What do you think they're doing? They're sharing my videos. They're talking about me in the secret group. What do you think they're doing? They're no different. They're no different. Okay? So email me. Email me with screenshots and information. Let me know what's going on. And I promise you, and I'll keep it civil, but if you're going to come at me sideways, you're going to get it thrown back, just as a warning. But that's all for now, guys. I'm probably just going to kick back and enjoy the peace and quiet. Excuse me, I burped. I'm going to enjoy the peace and quiet. Excuse me, coffee. I'm going to enjoy the peace and quiet. I'm going to let this video upload. And this is the last week of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. This is the last Sunday of Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. But before I wrap up this video, there are a few things that I want to say about Childhood Cancer Awareness Month too. Probably nothing I've never said before, but it breaks my heart that someone as myself who can relate to situations, to your child's situation, my parents can relate to your situation as parents. It breaks my heart enough as it is that you have to go through things like this. It absolutely kills me. And since day one, my goal has always been, I want to do the right thing. I just want to help make a difference. That's all I want to do. I understand the pain. I understand the struggle. I understand the frustration. I hated going to checkups when I was a kid. I hated going to scans. So, I mean, there are some kids who, I've saw this on Facebook any number of times through the years where the kids are all smiles when they're going to their scans, checkups. But those those smiles are forced. You know when a smile is being forced because I never liked going to scans. I never smiled. I slept. I wanted to avoid scans at all costs when I was a kid. I wanted to avoid those checkups like you wouldn't believe. I would even ask them, can I just sleep through it all? Can I just sleep? If I sleep, I won't know. No, you got to be awake. Because I never liked getting ultrasounds, I never liked getting x-rays, and I sure as hell didn't like being poked with needles, those little butterfly needles. I always got the butterfly needle right in the bend of the arm. I have a lot of memories from my checkups in East Lansing. But I'm also someone, I come directly from the oncology world. My case will always have its place in history of childhood cancer. Whether you people like it or not, that's too bad. I am a childhood cancer survivor, and I know what that is. And the only reason I started to raise awareness to this and to get involved and to meet people and socialize with people was because I wanted to share my story. I wanted for other people to know that they're not alone. I wanted to help make a difference. That's it. That's all I wanted to do. And I guess it started when I exposed a fraud. When a fraud and I, we duked it out. He hates my guts, and I really don't care for him because he's a piece of shit. But I saw how he was, and then more information came out about him later on down the road. And, excuse me. And, excuse me. Some more information came out about him down the road. And, so all that went down. But then for me, it started to snowball out of control. I had, a bunch of people coming up with the most disgusting lines of crap about me that was never true to begin with. Saying that I said this and did that, and it's like, what in the fuck are you talking about? And these people have no way of proving this. They just have a very strong conviction to make it believable, so that way they can scare all these people away from me. And then, well, Jared, you're not making a difference. It's almost, my stepdad always says, well, they're just jealous of you. Maybe they're just jealous of you. I don't want people to be jealous of me. I don't want anyone to be jealous of me. I'm not above them. I'm not beneath them. I don't want anybody to be jealous of me. I just want for people to be honest. If you don't have to like me, and I don't have to give a fuck, okay? But the thing about that is that doesn't permit you to go on and carry on and drag out a bunch of lies about me. That's not how that works. Do you know how easy it would be for me to drum up some bullshit about all these people I've ever had run-ins with in the childhood cancer world? Do you know how easy that would have been for me? But I will not do it. I will not do it because I'm not going to stoop to their level. I'm better than that. When it comes to that, I am morally superior than they are, because I wouldn't so much as make lies about people just to oust them. I wouldn't do that to people. As much as there's a lot of people I can't fucking stand, I wouldn't lie about them. Even Milk Tyson, someone on the Milk Tyson Childhood Cancer Celebrity Encounters Facebook page, I saw this. And I mentioned it here in a YouTube video, that he was, the FBI showed up at this little girl's house because she was being questioned for sexual grooming by Milk Tyson. And it's still on the page, by the way. I don't believe it, first of all, because I haven't seen any actual documentation. I've requested this from the person who runs that page. I said, it's not that I don't believe you, it's just that I got to have some evidence. Do you have any official documentation from the Federal Bureau of Investigation showing? Is there any public information or any documentation showing that Milk was sexually grooming a little girl and the FBI showed up? Why? Well, first of all, why would the FBI show up at the house? That would be a matter for Child Protective Services if someone is sexually grooming a child. Or at least I would think. That would be my first thought. Or a sheriff would show up, a police would show up at the house. But according to that post, there was no CPS worker, no cops, no law enforcement. It was the FBI. And I inquired evidence. I want to see some evidence of this, but I never received it. So I can't say that I believe it. I'm not going to believe something to which there is no evidence. However, that doesn't mean I'm defending Milk, because I don't like Milk Tyson. I don't like Ronnie Duvall. There's a lot of people I really don't care for, because they had this strange fetish with kids and they had this awareness fetish, this advocacy fetish, which is kind of weird. Because the collective angst on Facebook is really not going to do a fucking thing about anything. You know, Facebook is just where people discuss ideas and spread misinformation. Pretty much. The real action is getting out there. Now, Keirfest, for example, joke. Keirfest was canceled this year because of the COVID. That's so funny. So, as many times as there's been a Keirfest event on Capitol Hill, and still nothing is being done, maybe Keirfest isn't the answer. I'm not suggesting that I know a better answer, but evidently Keirfest is not the answer. Keirfest, and as far as I see, the people who are associated with Keirfest, it's more like a fashion show. I've seen videos of it. I've heard people stand at the podium and talk. Okay, I understand, and I'm not making light of delicate situations. I don't want people to think that, oh, Jared Fuller just doesn't give a fuck about anybody. I do care about people. I do give a fuck about people. But childhood cancer is not a fashion statement. It is not. This isn't Celebrity Apprentice, for Christ's sake. This is childhood cancer. This is not a reality show. It's just reality. It's not reality 2.0. It's just reality. And I don't support Keirfest because, as I pointed out any number of times, Keirfest, the name in and of itself is misleading. There is no cures, not for all cancers. The day we discover a cure for all cancers, we'll glorify that. We'll celebrate that. Then we'll have a Keirfest. And it'll be a day where we celebrate childhood cancer survivors. It'll be a time where, or an event, I should say. And we'll remember those warriors, the brothers and sisters who've fallen as a result of cancer. Then we'll discuss a Keirfest when there's actually a cure for this stuff. I'm not convinced, because of all the glamour and the notoriety and the publicity of these individuals like Tom Mitchell, and I know I talk about him. I mean, he's not a bad guy. I don't think he's a bad guy. I don't genuinely think that Tom Mitchell's a bad guy. I don't. But there are some things that I don't agree with, and I'm allowed to not agree. I am entitled to my opinion. However, the photo shoots, the photo shoots are unnecessary. There's no reason to do photo shoots when we're talking about childhood cancer. Why the photo shoots? Why do you need a photo op? Why does everything have to be fashionable? It's childhood cancer. There's nothing fashionable about kids who are sick and dying. And Tom, like many other bereaved parents, should fucking know that that is not something that we glorify. But there's people who are, and I hate to say this because it's going to come off as condescending, but I'm going to say it anyway. There are people out there whose heads are so far up their own asses and each other's that they think they are the shit. And they're not. How many other people out there, and there are lots of people in the childhood cancer world, they make up for the demographic of this population of a group of people. And it's not just current. I mean, it dates back generations, myself included. It's a big demographic. Childhood cancer is a very big demographic. And that's why that was one of the reasons why I had taken issue to the fact that they said that childhood cancer was rare. It's not rare. Tell that to the parents whose children are fighting it. That's what I always used to say. In fact, try to tell me that childhood cancer is rare. I fucking dare you. Well, they wouldn't do that anyway. But it becomes a point where certain people are exalted. Tom Mitchell's up here. Mike Gillette's up here. All these people certain people are up here. And Mike Gillette, by the way, is a fat fucking liar. And the rest of us are kind of just down here. And how is Mike Gillette a big fat fucking liar? Because he accused me of saying things on the Truth 365 Facebook page. And I ended up getting banned. He says, well, you know what you did. No, the fuck I don't know what I said or done. And I've inquired, and of course, as usual, I get nothing. So that's why Mike Gillette can kindly go fuck himself, and the Truth 365 can burn to the ground for all I care. And I mean that figuratively. But the thing, either way, I mean, the amount of disrespect I've been shown, and this is me responding to that disrespect, it's a shame that people can't think for themselves, that they have to go by what other people say. Well, why would they be saying this? I don't know. That's a good question. Why would they be saying this? Do they have evidence? Do they have proof? I mean, Mike Gillette actually threatened to call the law on me. He actually did. He actually threatened to call the law on me. He made this evident to one of my friends that he was going to call the police on me. He never did. He's a fucking bullshitter. And I know he's probably watching this and he's probably listening. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. I don't care. I'm not going to kiss your fucking ass. I don't kiss anybody's ass. That's one thing you're going to know about Joe Jerbear here. I don't kiss ass. I'm a survivor. I didn't go through the shit that I had to go through to put up with the likes of your fat ass. So, there you go. Yeah, I shouldn't make fun of fat people, but and it's not fat people in general. It's just this motherfucker who threatened to call the law on me. For what? Well, I guess now you have a reason because I mentioned your name. But it's okay for you guys to slander me and put me down, but whatever, I guess. I've been here for over an hour. I got other things I got to do. Or do I? I mean, I've kind of got the house to myself today. But yeah, that's, I've been disrespected by a lot of people in the childhood cancer world, and this video is just going to add salt to the wound, because Jared Fuller really and truly speaks out against atrocities. He really and truly speaks out against, people who are disrespectful. I've had to bite my tongue all this time because I'm trying to keep the peace and I'm better than that, and I'm just trying to be a good person. You know what? Fuck that. I've taken a lot of shit from a lot of people. Ronnie Duvall, not so much Mike Tyson, because he pretty much admitted that he's a scum. Mike Gillette, as I pointed out, he accused me of saying some things on the Truth 365 page that I never said, and when I asked for proof, he couldn't provide it. Just the disrespect. This is why, okay, so Facebook came out in 2004. And I knew, like, I had that gut feeling. I was busy writing my journals. I was busy doing my own thing. I was 18 years old at the time, 17 and 18. And I remember that, when Facebook was first introduced, I heard the news on television that there's this new social media website called Facebook. You ought to check it out, try it. I ignored it. I said, no, I don't think that's a good idea. I think Facebook is going to be more of a hassle. I remember thinking that to myself. I didn't write it in my journal, but I remember thinking that. It's like, I think Facebook is going to be more of a headache for people than anything, because you're going to be bombarded with bullshit and gossip and drama, and it was first launched in 2004. I didn't sign up with Facebook until 2010. So I had 6 years to think this over and to mull this over. And now when I first started Facebook, my first Facebook account, it wasn't so bad. It was actually nice. I enjoyed it, you know. My first Facebook friend was my Aunt Janice, but then I ended up deleting her. I unfriended her off my Facebook. So it started out good, and then it was in 2013 when I decided to really get involved in childhood cancer awareness, and I was just getting to know everybody. And in fact, Tom Mitchell and I, we had a conversation. We actually talked and had a back and forth in Messenger. He won't tell you that, but I will. Because he told me, Tom Mitchell, they call him Tattoo Tom. He actually told me, he says, you know, I don't know if I'm really making a difference. And I encouraged him. I said, man, I said, you are making a difference. I said, just keep your head up, you know. And he was telling me about his daughter passing away. I mean, we had a good conversation, and I reached out to him, and I told him, I said, you're a good man. You just, you know, keep doing what you're doing, bro. I said, I'm a childhood cancer survivor myself. And, you know, I'm sorry this happened. My heart goes out to you, bro. I'm sorry. You know, that's terrible to lose, you know, a child in any way, not just cancer, but just to have a child die. I mean, it's terrible. And my heart still goes out to you, Tom. I don't have any ill will or nefarious, you know, feelings towards you. But the fact that you jumped on the bandwagon and you told me that, you called me a jealous idiot, and you accused me of calling you a pedophile. I never did. And you also, I don't know. You think the world revolves around you, and I'm sorry to tell you, it doesn't. Because there are many people out here doing wonderful things, including myself. I don't have to always constantly help somebody to actually matter to people. I matter to people even when I'm just taking days to myself, just to relax and just to breathe it all in. And the hypocrisy about kindness and then the way you treat me or the way you talk to me, that you know, whatever. And then you jumped on the bandwagon and said, well, I've heard a lot of horrible things about you. Guess what, Tom? I don't give a fuck what you heard about me. I only care about what you can show. And that goes for anybody else who's listening to this. It's not just Tom Mitchell. Anybody. And it goes for anybody. Friends or not friends. I don't give a fuck what you heard. I only care about what you can show. And that goes for Mike Gillette, too. And that goes for anybody else who, like CJ Colton and all these other dumb fucks on Facebook who like to talk shit and they can't back their shit up with proof. The childhood cancer world is toxic, and they try to pin this on me. It was toxic back when I first started talking about childhood cancer, talking about my battle with Wilms tumor. It was toxic long before I even arrived. But I actually hadn't gone anywhere because I guess I've always been in the childhood cancer world since diagnosis, and as a survivor, I'm always going to be in it. But when I really started to focus on it in 2013, that's when, that's when people started to really know who Jarrett Fuller was. And now it went from great to awful. It's terrible now. It's terrible. Because people think I'm this bad guy and that I've been deceiving them for all these years, and that's really unfortunate because what you don't know is that I've held my tongue for a very long time, and I've tried to keep the peace, and I've tried to remain civil and cordial with everybody since I started advocating for awareness. But now I'm at the point where I don't give a fuck, and I'm going to start calling people out by name because I am sick of I'm sick of being treated like an underdog, you know? I have just as much say in childhood cancer awareness as you do or as anybody out there. It doesn't matter if it's True 365 or what have you. What I don't like are the Ronnie Duvalls and Milk Tysons in the world, the people who have no tissue in this whatsoever, no scar tissue in childhood cancer whatsoever. They are not in any fucking position to be talking about lives that they've never had to live. That's what I'm against. And they use sick and dying kids to improve their image on the internet. Not to mention, if you're Ronnie Duvall, scamming money from people so you can travel the country, but being Milk Tyson and being a sexual predator and proudly and gleefully admitting to it, and then still going around children. It would have been different if people accused him of being a sexual predator. That would have been different. But if you're going to admit to being a sexual predator, that's a whole nother ballgame. That's a whole nother animal. That's a whole nother beast. And I would almost think that you recognize Milk. You recognize, why am I calling you Milk? Your name is Edward. Listen, Eddie, you would have recognized right then and there that when you admitted on a podcast that you sexually harassed someone, that you shot yourself in the fucking foot by doing so. I mean, the childhood cancer world is broken. It's beyond repair. And the reason I backed out of awareness, although I'll still talk openly about it, but the reason I don't call myself an advocate anymore is because I see how broken of a mess the childhood cancer world is. It's not a community, so let's get rid of that word. It's not a community. It is a demographic, and it's a broken mess. There's infighting. There's constant drama. There's a bunch of he said, she said. Now, we're dealing with children here, which can only mean one thing. The quickest way to oust someone that you don't like is by referring to them as a pedophile. That's happened to me quite a bit. I'm happy to tell you that I'm not a pedophile. I'm happy to tell you that I don't view children in that way. I'm happy to tell you that I have lots and lots and lots of friends who know better than to even think that I would be that kind of a guy. And to be accused of calling someone a pedophile, well, that's kind of shitty, because I don't call people pedophiles unless they are pedophiles. Or it's proven that they, if they molest a child or if they rape a baby, then they are rapists. They are pedophiles. That's how that works. I don't call people names. I don't engage in trash talk and pejoratives about people I don't like, and I sure as hell don't foster up these lies and gossip. I don't drum this shit up to get back at people. Tom, I would be more than happy to have a gentlemanly conversation with you. I am still open to that anytime. You can email me. Hell, call me. But I am sick to death. I am sick to death of the fighting. I am sick to death of people using childhood cancer as a fashion show, like it's some kind of a red carpet event. You people got to understand, children are sick and dying. This is not red carpet shit. Oh, so you have a book published. Well, good for you. So you can stand on a podium, or at a podium, so you can shout through a megaphone, so you can appear on TV. Good for you. You're not better than anybody else. You're not beneath anyone, and you're not above anyone. At the end of the day, you are another member of this demographic. I got respect for people who do things for other people. Okay? I encourage people to do good deeds for other people all the time. And this week will be no different. I want you to go out there and try to make a difference in someone's life. However, if in fact you're looking at this through the lens of glamour, and we have to glitter everything up, and we have to do photo shoots, then it becomes, your reasons become superficial. That none of this makes any sense. None of this. And you're doing this for reasons that are the antithesis of raising awareness. You just want to make yourself look good. And far too many people are using the childhood cancer world and the platform to make themselves look good. Because it's all forced. It's all overly, how many pictures do you have to take of yourself before you find the right one that you want to share on social media? You can smile. You can put on a happy face. Deep inside, you're broken. These thumbs and these hearts that you get on Facebook, you're using this to evaluate your self-worth. And see, one of the things that I love the most about breaking away from Facebook is I don't have that problem anymore. I used to think the same way. Well, I don't mean anything unless I'm getting a thumb or a heart, which is not true. It's just entirely not true. I want for people to be honest. I want for people to be able to enjoy life. And I know it's never going to be the same because social media apparently is not going anywhere. It's never going to go away. Not fully. You have to do some soul searching, and you got to find out that the thumbs, the dopamine, it's an addiction. And when you're addicted to social media because of the dopamine, it's no different than being a drug addict or an alcoholic, because you need the substance to make you feel good. Like you're detoxing, you're going through something, your body's not used to. You need your fix. And without it, your body reacts negatively. So I've had a detox from social media because I did get addicted to it. I always used to think that the hearts and the thumbs up on my posts, I always used to believe that it somehow spoke truth to my life, and that's furthest from the truth. My interactions, the people that I speak with, whether it be in text message, email, or in person, that's what I crave. That's what I enjoy the most. Because there's no other distractions. I don't know how, I've been saying this week after week after week. I don't know how else to put it other than I'm a good person and I do my very best. I'm not mean to people for sport like the CJ Coltons in the world or all these other people. I'm not that kind of a guy. I don't hurt other people for sport like most of these other people. Instead, when someone hurts me, I respond. I have feelings. I'm a human being. You don't see that behind the screen. You don't see that on the other side. But I hurt. My feelings get hurt a lot. I get really super upset. I get really frustrated and really angry when people are going to put me down. And then it gets back to my friends, and then they start questioning, I don't know what to think. What do you mean you don't know what to think? Or, I hope it's not true. What do you mean you hope it's not true? What the fuck? What are you talking about? I just want for people to know that your best interests were always with me. I always had your best interest at heart. I don't like to come back at people with pejorative. I don't like to be, quick with remarks and I just don't like to fight with people because it takes so much energy away. I don't like to argue with people, but I treat people accordingly. You get what you give. And to that Jonah prick, whoever, some fucking punk ass kid who decided he was going to message me, he actually took a screenshot of one of my Sunday videos. Well, I got your face now. I should come up with a wood chipper. Well, bring it on. motherfucker, I don't care. Bring it. Because there's going to be something waiting for you. But I don't know why I'm even wasting my breath with that, because they're not going to show up. You know, someone actually messaged me and suggested that I lock my doors. Why? Why? I'm not a hard person to find. I don't want to fight with people. That's the point. I don't want to fight with anybody. But I'm going to call your bluff. And I will stand up for myself, even if it makes me look like a mean, vindictive person. I will defend myself at every whim, at every corner. And I don't care if you don't like it. I don't care if anybody doesn't like it. That's the way it's going to be. So I'm going to end the video on that note. I love you all so very much. Thank you for sitting through almost an hour and a half of my ranting. I will be here next week. Maybe Dad and Amy will be back next week by then. I don't know. I'll be paying bills this week because I'm guessing they're going to be back anyway because we get our checks this week. So they will be back here. Just know that whatever's going on in the world, just know that I will always love you. You can think whatever you want about me, but I'm always going to love you. And to the people in that secret private group on Facebook, don't be scared. Don't be afraid. Reach out to me. Email me. I want you to take screenshots. I want you to email me this information. I want you to just open up to me. Show me all the things that these people are saying. And I promise you, nobody will ever know that it was you. And like I said, will I mention it here or won't I mention it here? I'll see you next week. Much love and peace. Bye.